Most people think the collapse of an empire looks like a war. They imagine explosions, invading armies, and cities in flames. But that is not how it happens. Not anymore. The collapse happens silently. It happens when you go to the grocery store and the cart is half as full as it was last year. It happens when you work harder than your parents did, but you can't afford the house they bought on a single income. It happens when the money in your pocket slowly turns into dust. Henry Ford once said, "It is well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." Today, we are going to start that revolution. Because the system isn't broken, it was designed this way. You are about to discover why the dollars in your bank account are programmed to die, why the Great Reset is not a conspiracy theory, but a mathematical certainty, and why there is only one lifeboat left when the ship goes down. To understand how you are being robbed today, we have to go back to a crime scene. The date, November 1910. The location, a private train car in New Jersey with the blinds drawn. 6 men boarded that train. They carried the wealth of 1/4 of the world. Their destination? A secluded club on Jekyll Island. They weren't there to party. They were there to write a law that they claimed would stabilize the economy and protect the average American. They lied. What they created was the Federal Reserve System, a central bank that is neither federal nor has any reserves. This marked the beginning of the end for sound money, but the final nail in the coffin wasn't hammered in until 1971. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon appeared on television and temporarily suspended the convertibility of the US dollar into gold. He said it was to protect the dollar, but in reality, he severed the link between money and reality. Before that moment, every dollar was a receipt for a specific amount of gold. The government couldn't just print more money unless they dug more gold out of the ground. It was a check on power. But after 1971, the leash was cut. The dollar became fiat, Latin for "let it be done." It became paper-backed by nothing but faith. And faith is a fragile thing. So, how does the theft actually work? Most people think inflation is just prices going up. That is a lie. Inflation is not prices going up. Inflation is the value of your money going down. Imagine the economy is a pizza. The government wants a slice, but they don't want to raise taxes because that makes voters angry. So instead, they take the pizza cutter and slice the pizza into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. They didn't bake a new pizza. They just diluted yours. In the last few years alone, the Federal Reserve has printed trillions of dollars. Where did that money come from? Did they work for it? Did they produce goods? No. They typed it into a computer. Click. $1 billion created. Click. Another billion. This is the Cantillon effect. When new money is created, it doesn't go to you. It goes to the banks, the corporations, and the government first. They get to spend it while it still has value. By the time that money trickles down to your paycheck, prices have already risen. You are getting the scraps. They are stealing the time you spent working, stealing the energy you stored in your savings, and transferring it to themselves. But it gets worse. In this system, money is debt. If you paid off every loan, every mortgage, and every credit card in existence, do you know what would happen? Every dollar in circulation would disappear. This is called fractional reserve banking. Banks lend out money they don't have. They create money out of thin air every time you swipe a credit card. This system requires constant growth. It requires you to be in debt forever. Because if the debt stops growing, the system collapses. But here is the problem. We have reached the end of the road. The U.S. national debt is vertical. The interest payments on that debt are now higher than the entire defense budget. Mathematically, the U.S. government is bankrupt. They have only two choices left. Option A, default on the debt and the world economy crashes instantly. Option B, print more money to pay the debt and send the dollar into hyperinflation. They are choosing option B. They are going to inflate the debt away, and in the process, they will burn your savings to ash. But they have a plan for what comes next, and trust me, you are not going to like it. It's called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency, and it's not just a new form of money, it's a new form of control. If you think the dollar losing value is bad, wait until you see money that can be turned off if you disobey. In the next part, we will uncover the global revolt against the dollar, the rise of the surveillance state, and the one digital asset that they cannot print, cannot control, and cannot stop. The clock is ticking. You might be wondering, if the U.S. government is broke and they are printing trillions of dollars to stay alive, why hasn't the dollar collapsed yet? Why is a loaf of bread $5 and not $500? The answer lies in one word: export. For decades, the United States has had a unique privilege. When the Federal Reserve prints money, it doesn't just stay in America. It flows overseas. Because the dollar is the world reserve currency, central banks around the globe are forced to hold it. This means when America prints money, we are effectively exporting our inflation to the rest of the world. We get the cheap goods, they get the diluted currency. We throw the party, they pay the bill. But the world is waking up. They are tired of paying for a party they weren't invited to. In the past few years, a quiet revolution has begun. Countries like Russia and China have stopped playing the game. They have been aggressively selling their US dollar reserves and buying gold at record, historic levels. They are building a fortress. A new economic alliance known as BRICS is rising, challenging the dominance of the West. Their goal is simple: de-dollarization. They want to trade in their own currencies, backed by real commodities, not American debt. And the linchpin of American power, the petrodollar, is dying. For 50 years, if you wanted to buy oil anywhere in the world, you had to use US dollars. That deal is ending. We are now seeing oil being sold for yuan, for rubles, for gold. When the world no longer needs dollars to buy oil, trillions of those dollars will have nowhere to go. They will come flooding back home. And when they do, the hyperinflation we talked about won't just be a possibility. It will be a tsunami. The people in power know this is coming. They know the dollar is on life support. They know they cannot fix the debt. So, they are preparing to pull the plug. But they aren't going to return to the gold standard. That would limit their power. Instead, they are building a new cage. It's called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. They will sell it to you as convenient, fast, and safe. They might even bribe you to use it by depositing free money directly into your digital wallet, a universal basic income to help with the inflation they caused. But there is a catch. A fatal catch. Unlike the cash in your pocket or the gold in your safe, a CBDC is programmable. Imagine money that has an expiration date. You have to spend it within 30 days, or it disappears. This forces you to stimulate the economy, whether you want to or not. Saving becomes impossible. Imagine money that is tied to your carbon footprint. You reached your limit for the month. Your payment for that steak dinner is declined. You bought too much gas. Your wallet is frozen. This is not science fiction. This technology is being tested right now by central banks representing over 90% of global GDP. Central banking has always been more influential than laws and governments, but a CBDC gives them total, absolute control over every single transaction you make. It is the ultimate surveillance tool. It is the end of privacy. It is the end of freedom. The trap is set. The old system is collapsing, and the new system is a digital prison. But there is a flaw in their plan. A glitch in the matrix. Just as they were building this digital cage, a different kind of technology emerged. One that they didn't create, one that they cannot control, and one that might just be the only key to unlock the door. In the final part, we will explore the only way out. We are standing at a fork in the road. Down one path lies the Great Reset, a world of centralized control, infinite money printing, and surveillance currencies where your ability to buy bread depends on your obedience. It is a system where you own nothing. But there is another path, a path that the bankers on Jekyll Island never saw coming. For the first time in history, we have a lifeboat. We have a way to opt out of their system entirely. That lifeboat is built on code, mathematics, and decentralization. It is called Bitcoin. You see, the dollar is designed to inflate. Its supply is infinite. Bitcoin is designed to appreciate. Its supply is mathematically fixed at 21 million. No government can print more of it. No central bank can censor it. No politician can freeze it if you hold your own keys. It is rules without rulers. While they dilute your labor by printing paper, Bitcoin stores your energy in a digital vault that cannot be breached. It is the only asset on Earth that is truly, absolutely scarce. And it's not just Bitcoin. Gold and silver have served as shields against tyranny for 5,000 years. Central banks are buying gold right now because they know the paper game is ending. You should pay attention to what they do, not what they say. The collapse of the dollar is not the end of the world. It is simply the end of their control over you. But only if you are prepared. The transition will be turbulent. Those who cling to the old system, holding cash, bonds, and trusting the official narrative, will go down with the ship. Their wealth will be inflated away to pay for the debts of the state. But those who build their own rafts, those who educate themselves, who diversify into hard assets, and who take responsibility for their own sovereignty, will not just survive. They will participate in the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. The choice is yours. You can accept the digital cage they are building for you, or you can pick up the key and walk out the door. I cannot tell you what to do with your money. I am not a financial advisor. I am just a messenger reading the writing on the wall. But I will leave you with this. The revolution Henry Ford feared is finally here. It isn't being fought with guns or bombs. It is being fought with information and code. Don't let them steal your future. Do your own research. Take back your power. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone you care about before it's too late. The algorithm tries to hide this content, so your like and comment are the only way the truth spreads. Subscribe to the channel if you want to survive what's coming next. I'll see you on the other side.